Hello, and welcome back to the capital Wasteland. Northwest from the Montgomery County Reservoir is the MDPL 21 power station. The lone structure and transformers are behind a chain link fence that may very well be the only one without a weakness. No broken sections or rocks to climb over, although the gate is unlocked, so the intact fence is for all intents and purposes useless. Opening said gate and heading in, we can ignore the outside that has nothing, not even a tin can, and head inside to the substation where things are a little more fruitful. By looking left we see a terminal, and by looking right we see a workbench. This is already a step up from the outside, and we haven't even found anything. Turning on the Pip-Boy light and following the wall clockwise brings us to a floor safe with a hard lock. We can either pick the lock or hack the terminal and then disengage the lock that way. Inside we find bottle caps, a laser pistol with 32 energy cells, pre-war money, and a bottle of scotch. Continuing clockwise we find a skeleton who does not enjoy being touched.
Get off me, wow! Ah! Ah!
Also more bottle caps and scrap metal. With that said and done, we find ourselves in front of the workbench, where there is always a you-know-what. Along with the bottle cap mine is a Nikola Tesla and U energy weapon skill book, and that's it for the substation. Now, other than the very blatant satellite dishes to the west, there are several other much smaller points of interest scattered throughout the foothills. The first thing we can do is head north up the nearby hill, straight past the puddles of sludge, and follow the dirt path until reaching these barrels. There isn't anything by the barrels, but we can follow the water through an opening in the rocks to a dead end. Now, it is always a dead end, but there is a chance for a random encounter. For me, it was a group of raiders initiating their newest member. It would be a shame if someone were to, say, ruin that progress. With forward being a way we cannot go, we turn around and head towards the southeast, where there is a rope bridge joining two sides together. By heading underneath a short ways, we find the body of a Wastelander. There is something about this particular Wastelander that isn't quite normal. Let's see if you can tell what it is. Inside his pockets we find chems, but we also find a note, which I will read in just a moment. Did you see that? That's right. This Wastelander, who is supposed to be dead, is blinking. Let's read the note and see if there's an explanation for this weird encounter. The note reads, "It's been a week and I still haven't picked up on Marko's trail. Sitting here now, alone, I can be completely honest with myself and anyone who might read this. I've never felt like such a failure in my life. To let a man enter your home and then watch helplessly as he murders your family in cold blood is more than any person should have to bear. Now I can't even find the son of a bitch to give him what he has coming. He kills my children in front of my eyes and he gets to just walk away? No punishment, no justice? How is that fair? I'd kill myself, but I'm sure I'd just screw that up too. I just wish I knew what to do. I just wish God or someone would give me some kind of sign. The only thing I would like to know is what happened to Marko. We know the fates of the family and the Wastelander in front of us, but what happened to the murderer? Other than this note, he is neither seen nor heard of again. He isn't even mentioned in the official game guide, which makes me think that this Wastelander and the dead end note was added with one of the DLCs, specifically the pit. My reason for this is the fact that just over the hill is the radio tower, where you can find Werner, who initiates the DLC. It is said that the pit raiders have been taking people from the area, and I think Marko may have been one of them. which is why the Wastelander wasn't able to find him, because he had already been captured by the raiders and shipped off to the pit. Did you know that a slave who goes by the name of Marko can be found there? Only the spelling of his name is slightly different to that of the note. What are the chances that a simple spelling mistake is all that's keeping the player from knowing that both of these men are one and the same? Do you think there's a chance that the name was misspelled and this slave is the very man who murdered a family in cold blood? Let me know in the comments below. Back to the blinking corpse. Let's see what it takes to make it stop.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, yeah, drowning seems to work. Yay. After that fiasco, we can climb up the nearby hilltop and cross the bridge to the other side. Over here, we can follow the gentle slope up to a nearby fence that, for some reason, wraps around a pylon. The only purpose I can think of is to keep the player feeling immersed, because if we clip through and take a few steps north, we receive this message, and nothing breaks a player's immersion quite like an invisible wall. With no other option, we turn back and head east to the final thing these hills have to offer. By traveling southeast and keeping the rock wall to your left, you'll see trees and a dirt path leading up a hill to the northwest. By following this, you'll see more radioactive barrels and a small pond with a shipping container against the back wall. The rads here aren't deadly, but they are annoying, so do what you can to slow them down. Trudging over to the container, we find more barrels and see an opening that leads to a space behind. Searching the raider bobbing by the entrance bags are some 308 rounds and 2 bobby pins. You'll notice that beyond a certain point, the Geiger counter stops ticking and we no longer receive rads. Now on this side of the container, we see the body of a scientist wearing a radiation suit. You'll want to pick that up if you don't have one already. Beside the scientist is an average locked safe. Inside are a bunch of chems, so it's anyone's guess as to whose belongings these are. Or should I say were. My money's on the raider. Continuing this anti-clockwise fashion, we find more chems on the table and a DC Journal of Internal Medicine. Beneath the table are 4 bags of Radaway, Mentats, and a box of Blamco mac and cheese. The bed here can also be used, and that is exactly what I do since it's getting dark and I like my viewers to see what's going on. Several hours later, we wake up feeling rested, and the first thing we do is loot the Wastelander for bottle caps. I sure do love the smell of pilfering in the morning. And for those of you wondering if there's anything in the water, I thoroughly searched. Nothing but barrels. And there we have it. The MDPL 21 power station and the mysterious dead-end note. If you've enjoyed the video, then consider leaving a comment, liking the video, sharing it with a friend, subscribing to see more, and enabling notifications to avoid missing any activity. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next adventure.